carrying on with the armour of God, and this is our reading. Therefore, put on the full armour of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything, to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one.
Great. So you remember that all the armour that's talked about in Ephesians 6 is all bits of the gospel that we've heard about already in the book of Ephesians. The armour's not something strange and weird and new where we've got to kind of invent it out of our heads. It's stuff that Paul's already told us about in the letter of Ephesians. And we've already seen some of the armour. Let's just remind ourselves. Here's Naomi wearing the breastplate of right with Godness. And you can see that she's got her feet fitted with the gospel of peace. And again, Ephesians explains how we can be right with God and how we can have peace with God and peace with each other. So today we're thinking about the fiery arrows of Satan and how they're going to be stopped by this, the shield of faith. Now, faith in the Bible is not some kind of wishy-washy, nebulous, oh, we're all trusting in something kind of thing. Faith in the Bible is trusting Jesus. And when we're trusting Jesus, then everything that Jesus deserves is ours. Okay, so we're safe and we're loved and we've given a promise of heaven. So this is the shield of trusting in Jesus, okay? Naomi's holding the shield. Let's see what happens with these fiery darts. So here is Satan the accuser, and Satan's going to shoot a fiery dart. Put it all the way back. Here comes the fiery dart. Now you might want to zoom in and have a look at this dart here. Because what do we know from the Bible about Satan? Well, Satan's a liar. When he lies, he speaks his own language. And Satan is the accuser. He's the one who accuses God's people. So this dart, this arrow says something like, God couldn't forgive you for that. Should we follow this arrow and see what happens? Satan's arrow comes through the air, hits the shield of faith, and it falls to the floor. Because Ephesians has told us that when we trust in Jesus, then our sins are forgiven. Satan's arrow was a lie. It said we couldn't be forgiven, but Jesus forgives us. And this is the shield of faith, of trusting in Jesus. Let's try another arrow from Satan. You might want to think in your own head, what are some of the lies Satan tells you? Let's see what happens. Big push. So with my amazing powers, I've frozen this arrow in midair so that you and I can think about what are some of the lies Satan tells us. That thing in your past, God could never forgive you for that. God could never use you because you're not clever enough. You're not strong enough. You're not young enough. You're not old enough. You're not brave enough. All the sort of lies that Satan tells us. You can't be useful. You're not loved. You're not going to make it to heaven. All those sort of lies, that's what this arrow is. Frozen in midair. And all the lies of Satan the accuser, let's just follow it on. The arrow comes in, hits the shield of faith, and the arrow goes. Because when we trust in Jesus, all our past is forgiven, all our sins, and our future is guaranteed. It is by grace we've been saved through faith. This is not of ourselves, it's the gift of God, not by works, so no one can boast. And he's prepared good works in advance for us all to walk in. That's Ephesians 2, 8, 9, 10. The truths of Ephesians, the truths of Jesus are preparing us to do the gospel work, protecting us from the arrows of Satan, our right with Godness, and our belt of truth, all hanging off that wonderful belt of truth. So this week, when Satan tells you lies, when Satan shoots arrows at you that are lies, put your faith in Jesus, trust in him, and the lies will not hit. We can pray that for each other this week, can't we?